Hello and welcome. Meet Prophet Pete. This is the story of how Prophet Pete changed his financial future forever. Every weekday, Pete woke up before the sun, alarm blaring, coffee rushing, traffic crawling. Another day at his 9-to-5 job. Pete worked hard, really hard. But no matter how many hours he put in, his bank account never seemed to move forward. Bills went out, rent went up, gas cost more, groceries cost more, everything cost more. Except Pete's paycheck. Pete wasn't lazy. Pete just didn't understand money. Like most people, Pete was never taught how finance actually works. No one explained investing. No one talked about retirement or compound interest. Pete thought working harder was the answer, so he did. He took overtime, he skipped vacations. He told himself, "I'll figure it out later." But later kept getting further away. One night after another long shift, Pete sat at his desk staring at his computer screen. A thought hit him hard. What happens if I can't work forever? That was the moment everything changed. Pete realized something important. Working for money wasn't enough. Money had to start working for him. At first, Pete felt overwhelmed. Stocks sounded risky. Retirement accounts sounded confusing. Words like index funds and diversification felt like a foreign language. But instead of quitting, Pete did something different. He started learning. Pete didn't try to become rich overnight. He didn't chase lottery tickets or get-rich-quick schemes. He started small. Pete learned the first rule of money: pay yourself first. Instead of spending whatever was left over at the end of the month, Pete flipped the script. The moment he got paid, he saved a portion of it, even when it felt uncomfortable, even when it felt small, because Pete learned something powerful. Saving isn't about the amount, it's about the habit. Next, Pete tackled debt. He realized debt was stealing his future income. Every dollar going to interest was a dollar that couldn't grow for retirement. So Pete made a plan. He paid off high-interest debt first while avoiding new unnecessary purchases. No fancy lifestyle, no impressing strangers, just progress. Then Pete discovered investing. This is where most people get scared. But Pete didn't rush. He learned that investing doesn't mean gambling. It means owning pieces of real businesses over time. Pete learned about index funds' simple low-cost investments that track the overall market. Instead of trying to pick winners, Pete learned to bet on long-term growth. Slow, steady, consistent. Pete opened a retirement account. He learned about tax advantages. He learned why time in the market matters more than timing the market. And then Pete discovered the real magic: compound interest. Pete learned that compound interest is when your money earns money. And then that money earns money too. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, slow at first, then unstoppable. Pete realized something incredible. The earlier you start, the less you need to invest. Even small amounts, invested consistently over time, can grow into something massive. So Pete automated everything. Automatic savings, automatic investing. No emotion, no excuses. Every paycheck became a building block for Pete's future. Years passed. Pete was still working. But now it felt different. He wasn't trapped, he wasn't panicked. He had options. Pete's money was growing quietly in the background while he lived his life. Market ups, market downs. Pete stayed calm because he understood the long game. And that's when it clicked. Financial freedom isn't about being rich, it's about having control. Control over your time, control over your choices, control over your future. Pete didn't win the lottery. Pete didn't invent an app. Pete didn't get lucky. Pete got educated, and that education changed everything. Now Pete knows something most people never learn. You don't retire based on age, you retire based on assets. The money you save, the money you invest, the money you allow time to grow. Pete still works, but he works with confidence, because retirement isn't a question anymore, it's a plan. And here's the truth Pete wants you to know. You don't need a huge salary to win with money. You need discipline, you need patience, and you need knowledge. If Pete can go from stressed, broke, and confused to calm, confident, and prepared, so can you. Start small, learn daily. Let time do the heavy lifting, because the best time to plant a financial tree was years ago. The second best time is today. Hope you enjoyed our video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more great money content from Prophet Pete.